What's up, everybody? Coming to you from the Janitor's Closet in the Rebel Temple here on Yavin. And what I wanted to talk about today was the requirements for the Galactic Legends coming up. We know Jedi Master Kenobi is coming up. We have the first set of requirements, and tomorrow we should be getting the next set. So I wanted to put my predictions down on in recording here and see if I am right. See what happens. So what I have here is a spreadsheet of all the requirements we've had so far for other Galactic Legends, and we'll kind of use that as a prediction, as a sort of a template to predict, even though the template's not going to be precise, because even in the next set, Sith Eternal and Jedi Master Luke, they don't keep to the same pattern, but we can still kind of use it. So, I have them color-coded here. The alternate version of the character is usually maxed out. So for example, Supreme Leader Kylo uses 7 relic crew, and OG crew is 7 relic. And Rey used both versions of her at maxed out for the time. And they each used several characters that were thematically appropriate to them. And basically relic versions of those, and they both had a veteran. In the case of Kylo, it was an alternate, an opposing faction of the veterans here, and they both had a marquee that was out recently as like a money grab. So I had that here as in the light blue as a recent marquee at the time, a money grab unit. That will be a recurring theme. There's right here, there's the legendary with its own requirements. For Kylo, it had Relic 7 Palp, and for Rey, it had Relic 7 BB-8, which each required their own set of units. They each required a ship that had its own set of requirements too, and at the time that was kind of the standard. They kind of mirror each other pretty well, with the exception of the timing of the announcements. They kind of each require the same type of thing as each other. So when we get down to let's see here, when we get down to Sith Eternal and Jedi Master Luke, we have, once again, they each require their own previous selves maxed out. Sidious 7, Palpate 7. They required, at least Sith Eternal required an opposing faction, Relic 7. This kind of has something to do with his character, obviously. They each required a multiple legendaries, which each have their own requirements, and Luke actually required 3 legendaries. They both required a galactic chase type of ship at 6 stars. They each required a well, Luke is actually a much steeper requirements. They had JTR was a hero's journey. Jedi Knight Luke was a epic confrontation, which had its own hero's journey and other steep requirements for that. And obviously, and people know that Sith Eternal Emperor was generally the easier to obtain out of the two, depending on where you were, even though the characters that you may not be interested in, Krennic, Royal Guard, Maul, Dooku, Tarkin, they may not have had those leveled up, but Jedi Master Luke had steeper requirements, but it was characters that a lot of people already had because they were better characters. Sith Eternal had Piet as a money grab character. Jedi Master Luke had Mothma and Chupio as a money grab character. So, and obviously JKL was Jedi Knight Luke was a very recent character, so he was hard to obtain at the time, and a lot of people missed him just because they missed the event. So, when we get down to, let me go here, oops. When we get down to, I'm going to keep it secluded here, or keep it hidden here for for the excitement, for the intensity. Jedi Master Kenobi. We know about Jedi Knight, or General Kenobi at Relic 8, Negotiator 6-star. Mace Windu and Ayla already there, and Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan is a money grab character because it's a marquee that recently came out. So, using this as a starting point, let's see what we got for the next requirements. Here's where I will start my predictions. Grandmaster Yoda. Oops. Grandmaster Yoda. I don't have a I don't have a relic level here because it's kind of like, it depends on what their data shows how high they want you to relic them. So, I mean, but once you have them up to relic levels at all, it's not as big a deal to get them up to 3 or 5 or 7, depending on the character, that is. But basically, it's the character itself that's really the important part of deciding who to farm or who to save up gear for. Jedi Master Yoda, Grandmaster Yoda, seems like he needs a legendary in this. He needs a legendary in his group in order to be like the rest. He needs some sort of legendary to be similar to the other previous Galactic Legends. The next one I have here, and this one fits thematically for sure, is Qui-Gon Jinn. Qui-Gon Jinn seems like a no-brainer. Obviously, he's a big part of Kenobi's story, and it will only make sense for him to be probably Relic 3 or 5, and he's in there as the dark blue there because he's a older character that fits thematically, so according to the up here. Alright, the next one, another pretty obvious one, is going to be Cody. He plays a pretty big role in the Clone Wars, but also in the movie itself when the clones turn on him, and yeah, it seems very likely that Cody is going to be there. Now the next one here, I couldn't think of a real money grab character for the timing we have, because he's going to be coming out once they announce the final requirements. He's already, the event is sort of in the game, even though we don't know the kit. So I imagine the character will be available to try to get soon after the final requirements are announced. And if that means only a month away, there's not really enough time, although they could do it, they still could do it, not really enough time to put out a brand new marquee and reasonably expect people to get them right away, even though they still could. So in that case, the money grab in this case, and I don't like it any more than anybody else because I only have like 60 shards of cam. Now I say money grab because I think that they'll end up having him as a requirement, but in order to allow people to get him, not like take another year to get him, because it's, how long has he been out and I only have 60 shards. I think they'll put out some packs for him. Maybe like a 50 shard pack for $50 or something. And you need to buy however many you need to buy in order to finish them off. For me, I would need like 5 of them, and that's a money grab right there. If I really want Kenobi, I'm gonna pay those shards. I'm gonna pay the money for those shards. So that's another money grab. Now the next one is thematically appropriate, and this is will fit the sort of requirement, or fit the theme of having an opposing faction character, and this is General Grievous. In fact, it's a very likely possibility that he will actually have to fight General Grievous in the event. So having General Grievous right there, that seems like a no-brainer. And since everybody has General Grievous, I mean everybody who cares about General Grievous is going to have him at high relics. They might even require relic 7. Probably not 8, but probably relic 7. And for the rest, I have... Oop, can't see it. We'll move it up here. This is not going to be like each of these. Sorry, this isn't going to be each of these as a requirement. I just have all of these as possibilities. And even though it will still only be 1, 2, 3 of these 6 here that they would choose, any of these could be possible. Luminara, Eth Koth, Imagundai, Plo Koon, Jedi Consular, Jedi Knight Guardian. I say any of those, any 3 of those could be it. And the next Old Ben, yet again, another character of a version of himself at Relic 8. And Jango, he could be fighting Jango in the event too. So Jango could be a possibility there. But I think the hang-ups for people will be the Relic 8 requirements, the Bo-Katan and Cam requirements, and then the uncomfortable gearing requirements of all of these Jedi, or 3 of these 6 Jedi. But those are my predictions for Jedi Master Kenobi. Now, we haven't actually heard about what his counterpart will be, but we pretty much know it's going to be... Sorry. Bear with me. Pretty much know it's going to be Lord Vader. And first requirements for Lord Vader. I say Lord Vader, but it could be called Fallen Anakin, it could be Anakin Skywalker, or it could be Darth Vader pre-suit. But Lord Vader seems like people are kind of going with that name, so Lord Vader I'm going with too. And the most obvious one for Lord Vader, would be Jedi Knight Anakin, Relic 8, his previous version of himself. In fact, most of the event will probably be utilizing the character model of, well, depends on the event. I'll get into that later on. Jedi Knight Anakin at Relic 8, no brainer there. Next we have Ahsoka Tano. I have as snips here, Ahsoka Tano Clone Wars version. Sorry, the early Clone Wars version. It seems like a no-brainer that she's going to be required, probably Relic 5. I can't see why they wouldn't require her. The question is, which 3 of the versions are they going to require? I think it'll at least be Snips, because everybody has her, and it seems like a no-brainer. Next I have is Rex. Same reason. Tons of interactions with Rex. People usually have him high up already, so it's kind of a gimme, but in that case they'll probably require Relic 5. Obviously you need Padme on there. Padme is going to be the first of the legendary requirements. Could be Relic 7 Padme, could be Relic 5, but she herself already has several requirements, so that seems like a could be a thing. Next I have here a little bit of a painful one, but not as much as others, Poggle. People generally have Poggle at gear 12 or 13 or so for the GO team, so that wouldn't be too bad. But he does murder Poggle at the end, so I can see that happening. And of course, Qui-Gon Jinn. This would be like a double dip requirement, which they are not opposed to doing, so I could see that happening. And the next one here, actually let me go to my spreadsheet and move that around a little bit, and I'll save that for last. Bear with me here. I'm going to put that there. Save it for last because it's kind of kind of cool. And alright, so the next one I have here is another not so steep requirement. A lot of people have them, Wat Tambor. Maybe Relic 5 for that one. I can see that. It kind of goes with the theme of requiring a territory battle character. Next I have is a little bit of a painful one, Tuscan Raider. I'm not sure which Tuscan Raider, but I have one in there in general. Because it could be or it could be Shaman, or it could be, what is the other one, Raider? Just Tuscan Raider plain. Could be one of those. Probably not all 3. I don't know if they would do that to us, but probably at least one. And the next I have is Gas, the other previous version of Anakin. Relic 8, of course, it's a no-brainer. Same thing with Poggle, this Newt here. Another Separatist, he probably would fight Newt and Poggle and Watt all in the same battle. And next I have Jedi Anakin Starfighter. And I have here at max power, because a lot of people already have it for the requirements for gas, and they probably just needed like, I don't know, 50,000 power or whatever the max is for that. And to round out the difficulty a little bit, I have C-3PO. I'm blocking it. Let me move myself away, or make myself smaller a little bit. There we go. Okay, next I have is C-3PO. I can see that being required. It also has sub-requirements of Ewoks, so another way to load up on the requirements. And same thing with the next one, R2-D2. It's pretty clear why they would have both of those. And here is a little bit of a controversial one. Commander Ahsoka. Now, I don't know if they would have that in there, because absolute minimum to get her is going to be 3 months, and that's starting like, is it next? I think it's like starting like next week maybe. So minimum would be like July that people would even have her unlocked. So it may not be her. It may be Fulcrum. It may be something else I'm not thinking of. It seems like that's a pretty steep requirement. A lot of people wouldn't be able to even get her for 6 months plus at least. I know I haven't been able to max out the rewards on Conquest Hard yet, but Commander Ahsoka, possibility. And the next one is something that I don't think a lot of people have thought of, but they need another cash grab. They need another cash grab character. Because right now, cash grab characters, there's not a whole lot of cash grab characters going on. Ahsoka, maybe you could buy a pack for her, but when it comes to cash grab characters, they might just put in a bunch of Relic 8 requirements and sell packs for Relic 8, or they do have time in Lord Vader's instance here, in this example, and Lord Vader's options here to put out another marquee, a marquee they have not yet announced, a marquee that will be announced in just the right timing to be a recent marquee at the time for a money grab. And that marquee that I'm thinking of is Chancellor Palpatine. I would actually love this character. It would be interesting. It would be a character that would be Galactic Republic, I would think, because Chancellor Palpatine was kind of done before he announced, or I guess he announced that there was going to be a Galactic Empire, thus ending Chancellor Palpatine and making himself the Emperor. But we don't really, he's transformed into what we look at as Emperor Palpatine before he officially announces the, I don't know, I'm squabbling, whatever, about the timing of it, but Chancellor Palpatine we don't have. And he's crucial in Anakin's story. Anakin falls because of him. So I think we might get a Chancellor Palpatine marquee character just before the Lord Vader comes out. I'm predicting it. Probably be Galactic Republic, but he might not have a whole lot of synergy with Galactic Republic allies. He might be very like a sneaky, tricky type character that does a lot of debuffs or has like a lot of like interesting strategy around him. similar to how Thrawn is like all like cerebral and kind of outthinks his opponents, and Chancellor Palpatine would be the same way, I think. Chancellor Palpatine. We gotta have another Mystery Marquee coming out. I think that would be the best fit. And who wouldn't want that character? He's awesome. So, now, the last thing I want to talk about is the event itself. I have a couple of notes written down here. Let me go over them about what I predict would be the events, what the event looks like for Jedi Master Kenobi and Lord Vader. I think Jedi Master Kenobi is a very strong possibility of his first tier being the character model of Padawan Kenobi versus Maul in the what do you call that room? The reactor room, I guess. Fans out there, tell me what what that room is actually when Obi-Wan fights Maul. But that could be the first tier. The second tier could be a Clone Wars Clone Wars Obi-Wan model versus Jango, or possibly in the arena versus some Geos or something. The third tier of the event, the last one you need to do to actually unlock Kenobi, would be possibly versus Grievous. So you fight Maul, and then Jango, and then Grievous, one for each movie, and it kind of tells the story of the trilogy, the prequels. And then when you unlock him, the next 3 battles would be him in varying ways versus Anakin. And for the Anakin event, I'm thinking Episode 2, Padawan Anakin versus Tuscans, and then maybe Jedi Master Kenobi, not the Clone Wars Kenobi, but the Episode 2 Kenobi and Padawan Anakin versus Dooku. And then Jedi Knight Anakin and Jedi Master Kenobi, the new model that we haven't seen yet, or the one that would be out by then, actually, versus General Grievous in the ship, or versus Dooku or General Grievous in the ship trying to rescue the Chancellor. And also, that would probably... no, I think the final tier of the Lord Vader event would be him killing Poggle, Newt, and Watt. So maybe one of those I previously mentioned wouldn't be there. Maybe they would choose between Dooku versus Grievous. And then there might be also an event with Jedi Knight Anakin looking on as Mace fights Chancellor Palpatine. Maybe you use Chancellor Palpatine and you go against Mace. They kind of already have that in the Sith Eternal Emperor event. They kind of already have touching on that. So maybe they would skip that. But I think they could do something like that. And then obviously the last few tiers of the event would be him versus Kenobi. So, there's my predictions. Tomorrow, we'll find out the next set of requirements for Kenobi, and we'll see if I'm right. So, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. If they help out the channel, I'm looking, maybe if you're the lucky one, you can be the subscriber number 114. That'd be so great. Thanks for watching. See you next time.